Jade Tech protocols were nerfed a few weeks ago, so much that most people stopped using them. But ArenaNet has changed this position on this change, and they're gonna actually revert it while also keeping the buffs that it already had. Subscribe to the channel for more of this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support me, and let's get into it. So, what happened? A few months ago, oh no, not months ago, a few weeks ago, we got the change to Jade Tech offensive protocols and defensive protocols, which give you a lot of boons and also some defensive and offensive properties, like more damage and more health, stuff like this, from being activated every 30 seconds to 90 seconds. This meant that the boons would not apply to you mostly ever, right? You would usually you would go from one fight to the other, and it would be up again for you to use it, right? But 90 seconds, 1 minute and a half, made it so every, I don't know, 4, 5 fights, that's, where you would actually get the benefits of the buff, right? Which is definitely not good. And, what something that used to be very useful for boons, specifically, while doing, I don't know, rifts or different events, or even meta events in between different events before the actual big boss fight, as the big boss fight will only activate this once, as you usually will stand in combat for the whole duration of the fight, would just not trigger, right? And this was not very good. It made it so people didn't want to use it at all, right? And the thing is, it's kind of sad because it came with a very good amount of buffs. It increases the, it came with increased duration of Jade Tech offensive and defensive overcharge effects per activation from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Before, in order to get these buffs, you would have to go get a battery and then get the battery into a protocol and then apply it 15 minutes at a time until 2 hours, which made it so, guess what, you would have to use a lot of batteries to get the whole 2 hour duration. Now you only needed 3 batteries and 3 activations each time. They also made it so you wouldn't bug out when you actually press it multiple times, which is pretty nice. And they also made it so you can actually get 3 hours of the buff instead of 2.25 hours. So very good amount of changes, but overruled by this horrible, well, I actually don't think it was that bad, specifically because I think the offensive and defensive passive effects of them were probably worth getting in the first place, but this really made a lot of people not care about it at all. And honestly, most people wouldn't use them regardless, right? Most people would not use these items, these batteries, because they would just forget about it and what's the point? I'm gonna kill the boss anyways. But the truth is that is a good effect that if everyone had it, especially now that is unnerfed, most metas would be way faster, and also they would become you will essentially finish the metas faster and therefore go to farm something else, well, faster, right? And therefore making you more gold. But now they're actually gonna change this. Wait, what did I? There we go. They're gonna actually change this, which is actually awesome. Here you go. Here it is. They're talking about reverting it back from 90 seconds to 30 seconds. Everyone, I've been keeping an eye on the conversation and talking to several people on the team about this change. I want to let you know, first, that we'll be making an adjustment in the upcoming build to reduce the cooldown from 90 seconds to 30 seconds. I actually understand that there was some, they wanted to nerf it a little bit because it was too powerful before, considering that you could stack them so much. But the truth is that even though that was not really a power, change, right? Like making it so you get more and for longer and easier, it's not really making it more powerful, it's just making it less annoying, more convenient. So this nerf didn't really make a lot of sense. To give some context on this change and what led to it, Jade Tech offensive and defensive protocols are intended to give players a temporary boost of power at the start of combat, not to maintain those boons permanently, which is definitely true, but I don't think that would used to happen anyways, which invalidates many skills, traits, and relics, and so on. We've discovered a bug associated with players having both effects at the same time in a particular order, which allowed players to apply the full duration of both boons on demand in certain situations. In the April 16 update, when we corrected the issue, we also adjusted the cooldown to more accurately reflect the intent on the Jade Tech protocol effects. However, the change of 90 seconds didn't account for smaller, shorter skirmishes, so while we will not reintroduce the bug that prevented the cooldown, we will revert the cooldown to 30 seconds. I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but honestly, yeah, I think it's a bit, what is the word? I don't think they thought about it too much. Because, yeah, I mean, a bug should definitely be fixed, but let's be real, this is not gonna be something that, you know, 30 seconds of cooldown each time you enter and, you know, leave combat and enter combat is not gonna be able to make you, you know, use this for permanently and have boons permanently, right? I understand that they were scared that it would happen again, but, you know, yeah, it went a bit too much, right? And also, even if there's like these bugs and they definitely should fix, you probably shouldn't punish the rest of the community that is playing normally, just because a few people are abusing a bug, which is probably what they were doing. So yeah, I mean, even though I understand where they're coming from, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this in the first place. I actually, no, personally, I didn't really care that much. I was using it anyways, just because of the passive buffs, and that's why when it actually happened, I didn't really care that much. But and I was actually just so happy that you could, you know, put the batteries just 45 minutes each time instead of 50 minutes at a time. And of course, getting it to 3 hours. I was so happy about that I just didn't care about this. But honestly, I've seen a lot of people complain about it. A lot of people not use the batteries anymore and the Jade protocols. And I think this, you know, it's a good change. It's a good, it's good that ArenaNet are listening to feedback, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it, and we'll see if they change more stuff. If something bad happens, right? I'm sure that everything will be fine, but I'm just happy that, you know, they're listening to the problems that players are having, and in some way, shape or form, addressing them and helping us with that. So tell me what you guys think. Are you gonna start using your protocols? Definitely use them. If you come into my meta train, I'm probably gonna change my copy passes so it reflects that everyone should be using those protocols all the time. So, well, I guess right now they're still gonna be nerfed, but, you know, next patch though, next patch, those protocols are gonna be used in every one of my meta trains, and you better get in and play with me on there and with us to get some gold, and of course, you know, do big damage with those protocols. Of course, that's about it. Go to my twitch.tv/streams to watch me live. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content creation. Go to my Discord if you want to hang out off stream, and see you guys around. Love you all. Bye-bye.